Okay, and just to clarify, you did say that Amir Khan, win or lose, he's still the mandatory at welter for Danny Garcia?
Win or lose, he's a mandatory for Danny Garcia. That was a pre-agreement, and we're going to honor it.
Awesome. And what's the timeline of after this fight to make that fight with Garcia?
Let's wait. Let's just see what happens.
Okay.
There's some variables, so let's wait to see what happens tomorrow night.
Okay, but he does hold his position,
Absolutely.
which is awesome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, from the UK.
I know.
I want to ask you one question.
Yes.
If Khan loses, will he stay mandatory at 147? Will he keep
In
his
the welterweight, yes.
He'll keep it.
That is correct.
That's because he's fighting a middleweight.
Yeah, that was a pre-agreement.
Yeah.
He's taken a big step, tremendous.
Made that fight.
Yes.
Because the other thing we want is Danny Garcia fight. So you make that happen.
That would be great.
Yeah. Cool. Can I take a picture? Is that all right?
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So, UK fighter Amir Khan did an interview with The Sun, and he talked about his future plans. He says he wants to take it easy for the rest of the year. After dealing with some kind of broken hand or hand injury, he doesn't want to rush training. He wants to make sure his body is fully recovered and repaired, especially coming off a brutal knockout to Canelo. But he did say, and I made a video about this, he wanted to fight 3 times in 2017. He believes he should take a tune-up, and then he wants to take his mandatory positioning and get that rematch in with Danny Garcia. Here's what he had to say. I want to fight again in January, then in May, and again before the end of 2017. I'm going to start training and make sure my hand is fully recovered. I don't want to rush into a fight at the end of this year. I want my next fight to be in Britain. I know it's going to have to be a tune-up, having lost the Canelo fight and also having had the hand surgery. So, that's from Amir Khan. My thoughts on it, I think it's an excellent idea. I think one of my biggest problems with Amir Khan in the past was I felt he believed he was a bigger star than what he was, to the point where, like, if you think you're a big star, that's cool. But it was to the point where it affected his career, and he lost time. Like the Devin Alexander, he did eventually fight Devin Alexander, but not when he was supposed to. And the people that have watched boxing for a while remember that. He was holding out, thinking he was going to get the Mayweather fight over Maidana. Like, oh, I beat Maidana, and I'm more popular on Floyd Mayweather's poll. I'll get the fight, right? And that didn't happen. So you wasted all that time hoping for the Mayweather sweepstakes, and then instead of just going out with your career. And if you look like you did versus, we know Floyd Mayweather, in the past he's taken a lot of his biggest challenges when they were either undefeated like Ricky Hatton or Canelo, or coming off of big wins like Maidana beat the shit out of Broner, or you look at Victor Ortiz had beat Adrian or Andre Berto in a fight of the year. You look at Cotto had just avenged his first ever loss and stopped Margarito, put him into retirement. Things of that sort, right? So a lot of those guys are coming off their best wins. Shane Mosley over Margarito, etc. So Amir Khan, I thought his best fight and best performance at welterweight was Devin Alexander. So with that being said, had he just taken the fight when it was supposed to happen, got that out of the way, he probably could have got a Floyd fight later that year. You know what I mean? Based on that performance, because I thought he looked excellent in that fight with Devin Alexander. So if that was going to be the outcome, that might have been the type of win. But for whatever reason, Khan chose to stall out his career, and he waited on the sideline. Then he fought Chris Algieri, coming off a 6 knockdown Pacquiao loss. Struggled a bit and made it, and it was a competitive fight. We seen Algieri with a brand new trainer, coming off a bad loss to Manny Pacquiao, and he gave rounds and he gave some work to Amir Khan, and Amir Khan was successful. Then he waited another year and fought Canelo, and he moved up to Canelo weight with no rehydration clause. So I don't think that was a logical career moves for Amir Khan, right? To take a year plus off and then immediately go up to 155, no rehydration clause, when you got fights like Kell Brook, who at the time he was still at the welterweight division, and he was calling out for a fight, and you said, oh, he's being too disrespectful, things like that. So I like this new game plan from Amir Khan, fight 3 times next year. It's going to be dangerous because, I mean, boxing's unforgiving, and Khan at this point has 3 knockout losses. His last one was brutal because he was like completely out, right, with his eyes open and stuff. He was just like laid out, single shot type thing. The other ones like British Prescott, Danny Garcia, he was badly hurt and whatnot, but he was still, you could tell he had somewhat of his senses. But with the Canelo knockout, he kind of disconnected, and That's scary, you know what I mean? And I think he injured his hand falling some, because when you think about it, when you get knocked out like that, your body just goes limp, like it just like shuts off. It's like unplugging your computer, you know what I mean? It's like a glitch. And with that lifeless type of motion, you could fall all kinds of crazy. That's probably, if you look at street fights and when they're on the concrete and stuff, that's probably where people get the most hurt, is how they fall. You know what I mean? They fall backwards with no defense mechanism, because your brain is going to have built-in, unless you're psycho or crazy, you have built-in defense mechanisms. That's why one of my shows that I watch is like Forensic Files, and when they find out who the killer is and start looking into the details, when in the rape cases, usually the person has defensive wounds like scrapes or scratches on their face, because your natural instinct is to protect yourself. That's how your brain is hardwired. And when you get knocked out, you disconnect, so your natural inclination to protect yourself is not there right at that given moment, because you're completely out. So you just fall any type of way, hit your head on concrete or whatever. So I think that's actually why his hand is hurt right now and he's doing the surgery. So I'm okay with the tune-up fight based on that. I'm okay with him fighting in the UK. It's just a matter of who is he going to fight, because obviously he doesn't want to fight someone too difficult coming off a hand injury and a brutal knockout and spoil his chances at a Danny Garcia rematch. So for me, I think Josecito Lopez, Victor Ortiz, I would say Robert Guerrero. I mean, these are all fights that are kind of middle of the road type of fights. See if you can get one of those guys over there. There was some bad blood between Guerrero. He was talking about Khan's chin and stuff like that. See if Khan can outbox him. Khan beat Victor Ortiz in the amateurs, things like that. David Peralta, maybe something like that, or Aaron Martinez. I'd probably try to get someone like that for a tune-up fight. I don't think you have to go bottom of the barrel like a guy with absolutely no name, but those are all good winnable fights. And if Khan is a shell of his former self, he would probably be the favorite in those fights. It's just you don't really know how people are going to respond to that type of knockout. So I like that, and him pushing for the Danny Garcia rematch. I want to see that, because there's a lot that changes in the sport of boxing. Danny Garcia, he's still undefeated, but since the Khan loss, he struggled with people with volume and a pure boxing athletic style. Lamont Peterson, Mauricio Herrera, despite if you thought he won or lost those fights, it goes without saying that he didn't look great in those fights. And Amir Khan's a good boxer when he's on. Again, it's just a matter of how is he going to look coming off of that devastating knockout. But he was clearly winning the first 2 rounds, and then Danny Garcia being a great timer, he was able to catch him and hurt him. So I would watch it. I think that's a fight that still makes money in boxing, especially on PBC, because to my knowledge, when they fought the first time, I want to say it was on HBO. So this was before the inception of, or public inception of PBC. They might have had the idea, but no one knew about it at that time, because I think that was when Heyman Fighters were still on HBO. So that would be huge for PBC. If you put that on NBC, Khan versus Garcia 2 for a title or a title fight, I think that's good. So let me know what you guys think of Amir Khan. Wants to fight 3 times next year, and the May fight, he wants it to be Danny Garcia. Most likely. Drop in the comment section, share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.